Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And welcome to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to go through the finale of the Star miniseries. This is Star number 5, written by Kelly Thompson, art by Javier Pina and Felipe Andrade. And I have enjoyed this miniseries, kind of. I started out being excited about it. I like the character Star. I like what little we got in the Captain Marvel series with Kelly Thompson being able to have a series with her to kind of flesh out the character, kind of do more with her. I was excited about it. But since the series started, and now that it became digital only and ending in 5 issues, it just ended up being a lot of bickering between Star and Captain Marvel, not much progression in the character, gradually seeing her being able to use the Reality Stone a little better. And then you get to this last issue, and everything seems to be forced and rushed to get to an end. And with that, you get all of the stories kind of weird. And even the idea that in the recap for this issue, the recap page says that this little device that Black Swan had given to Star ends up opening up a pocket dimension in her apartment. It really doesn't. What it really seems to do is act like a Ghostbusters trap and just trap Corvus inside of it. And that becomes one of the most important things in this issue. Now, with it again, I wanted more progression for Star. Yes, I wanted Star to become a good guy, a good gal. I wanted Captain Marvel to kind of get over the fact that she may have killed some people. All that, it's tough to get over as a hero. But I wanted something that had some resolution with the character, especially between Carol and Star. But you never get that. You never get that. And really, by the end, you end up having Ripley just suddenly being able to control her power of the Reality Stone a little better and then just walk off. But there's other things going on as well. You had a good setup with Black Swan with this whole trap and seemingly trying to help Star because she wanted to get out of this whole, Infinity Stone deal with Thanos. She wanted her own life. And that kind of gets pushed aside to then just make the Black Order more about family. And it really seems to nerf them. It really seems to make them less badass going through this. Though I do think that this is all set up for when we eventually get all the Infinity Stones, Thanos gets back. I would think that the Black Order will not be going along for the ride with Thanos and may actually be trying to stop him. Now, in the meantime, I do think that what we're seeing with Ripley, and then in the past already Hector Batista as the Time Stone, I think that this will end up being kind of an infinity order that Thanos will end up having because they all seem to be kind of criminals or bad guys overall. But yeah, in this issue, though, we're just going to have a bunch of battles. The Black Order goes to attack now that they have Corvus, and I mean they, meaning Star, Captain Marvel, have Corvus in this Ghostbusters trap. At least they have a bargaining chip, and that's what will end up being important. But while this is going on, you just end up, again, with Star and Captain Marvel in a little bit of a truce. They still are bickering. They're still having problems. But because you're going to try to do some more things with Star and get her away from it, you have to have Scarlet Witch show up. And she was called, but she just shows up here so that Carol has somebody else to bicker with. And really, Carol in this book, I like Carol. I like Captain Marvel. I like Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel book. But in this mini, Carol just is bitching and moaning the whole time. Just a sad sack sourpuss that really just drives me nuts. Well, while you end up having Scarlet Witch go, and now all of a sudden Carol has somebody else to yell at and say things to, you end up having Star decide, well, if these two aren't going to help out, I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to the Black Order themselves. I'm going to have a truce with them. And we do see that she uses the hologram power. I mean, she has the Reality Stone. She can pretty much do whatever she wants. And she goes off and offers them, I'll give you Corvus in this little device back. In return, you just leave me alone. I go off with my Reality Stone, and you don't bother me ever again. Now, that is something big to ask the Black Order. That's all they're about. Now, again, like I said, you had this setup where Black Swan seemed to want to get out of the game but it's pulled her back in. Kelly Thompson has, and the rushed nature of this issue, because they agree. They say, okay, we will do that, and then we'll deal with Thanos later. Well, when you have seen Star use some of the Reality Stone powers, she ends up passing out. She goes into a dreamscape here, where this is all of a sudden, in 5 issues, you end up with barely any character progression. It's a lot of bickering. So all of a sudden, because we're ending now, you end up, boom, here's the character progression. It's not bad. It's showing you that Star has been bullied. She has been made to feel useless. She has been abused since her life started. And so you end up with this, okay, now I understand what she's all about, why she's always mad, but it's a little too late. We're ending this, and now you're finally getting to this, because I think that we were going to go further on if this thing didn't go to digital only and then canceled here. But you end up with the whole deal that shows you why she is who she is. Now, this is where Felipe Andrade's art comes in, and it kind of made me giggle a little, because it reminds me so much of Sean Murphy's White Knight series over at DC, especially Star. Looks pretty much exactly like Harley Quinn in that. And I'm not saying that's bad. I do love Sean Murphy's art, so I do like Felipe Andrade's deal here. But just to go back again, you end up seeing that, and it looks so much like that. But hey, I don't mind that too much. But we end up with Star coming out of this kind of dream nightmare deal. And hey, I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm not going to let anybody get in my way. I'm not going to let anybody, control me or hurt me. And so she pretty much freaks out. She freaks out, goes supernova on both Scarlet Witch and Captain Marvel. And Scarlet Witch throughout this whole series, and why I think she has popped up here for this last issue as well, is she is the one who keeps saying to Captain Marvel, there is redemption to be had. Captain Marvel pretty much she stepped over the line. Also a little bit about, she kind of, had my powers and stuff. I think she's a little jealous, really. But the whole deal with Scarlet Witch is there to say we can redeem her. We can bring her back. It's like the $6 Million Man. We can rebuild her. And she has decided pretty much at this point, nah, I don't really want to be a good person. I just am all about myself. I'm going to be selfish in that way to just make sure nobody hurts me, which is fine. That's a cool thing, and it's a progression. But then it just leads to weird nonsense by the end. But yeah, Carol's going to fight. But you see now, suddenly, Ripley, she can control that Reality Stone like it's nobody's business. It only took a dream. And, a dream actually is what all we need in life, right? Just a dream. Ends up doing this and says, hey, I'm going to zap you away. Give my regards to the little men. I'm like, well, where's she going? Gulliver's Travels or something? This is actually a joke to mean Mars. Put the green part, the little green men, the little men. I'm like, really? Like, well, where's that? My house? I'm not a big man. Maybe she's going to say hi to me, but they get zapped away. You do end up having Star go back to the Black Order, say, hey, here you go. Here's Corvus. Whatever. I'm out of here. Just leave me alone. And they end up even saying, you could have gotten so much more. And I think that Kelly Thompson throws this in not to make Ripley more of a good character, but just show you what she really, really wants. She only wants one thing. She wants to be left alone. And then she goes off. You end up having Carol and Wanda come back from Mars, which is then said, hey, we were in Mars. Well, why not show it? You're so rushing to the end that you end up them getting zapped to Mars and then just coming back all off panel. Oh, man, you could have died on Mars. Yeah, you could have. And so you get that continuation. Scarlet Witch, I think she could be redeemed. Carol, no, she can't. Yes, she can. No, she can't. Oh, well, I guess it's not up to us. She made the villain's decision and off she goes. And we do see her strutting down the street. It reminded me so much of the end of Matrix with Neo walking down the street, or like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. She could be eating the pizza, double-decker, eating that there. This guy in the hoodie, what does he think he's seeing? Really? All this guy. And this just shows you, this is the problem in our society. People do not care if there's a woman who appears to be on fire walking down the street. But it's fine. She gets a new look, a new costume going off from this. But you have to end with her then blowing up a building and saying, what can I do? I can do whatever I want. That's blowing up a building. I would imagine that as a children's hospital, making her even worse.
You have stolen my
and
dreams.
Yeah, that's kind of the end of that. And you see the end, really, that always ticks me off. But I like the character Star. I wanted to see Star be redeemed a bit. I don't need her to be a big hero. I don't need her to, wash everything away. But I want it more than her just walking down the street, blowing up buildings behind her. Hey, look at me. I can blow up buildings. And so by the end of this, you do end up having her obviously have the Reality Stone. You have Hector Batista with the Time Stone. We still have 4 stones out there unknown. And all these stones seem to be binding with people. So, you would figure we'll start getting these. How long is this going to go on? Because it's already gone on too long. Get him going, get Thanos back, get his full brain back, and let's go. And so with that, though, you have Hector Batista and Ripley Ryan with these stones. They're not exactly great characters. And I mean great characters as in good guys. They're not heroes. You ended up having Hector in that Infinity Watch book with Wolverine and Loki, which me and Brandon on our podcast actually seem to be the only ones who liked it. But I did enjoy that a bit. But you're going to go off, and that's where I said you end up with this issue kind of putting the Black Order more as a family than a badass unit. I don't like it. It changes it out of nowhere. But I think that that's to get them out of the way so that Thanos might be able to have what I would say the Infinity Order. I'm making the call right now. I think that it's going to be the big event of maybe next summer. We'll see if this is leading. But if that's what's going on and we're leading to a big thing, it's got to start getting bigger in these little pieces leading to it. You have to get some hype, because by the time we get to that, and even I'm saying next summer, that may be pushing it. When we get to that, people are, what happened to Star? Oh, she blew up a children's hospital, while strutting down the street. Oh, yeah, I remember that. But yeah, this to me was a disappointment. It ended up thudding at the end here. And yeah, I do think we'll see Star more. I think that that's obvious. This whole thing with the Infinity Stones is going to be something bigger down the line. But you kind of end the character with only setting up, well, maybe she'll come back as a villain in Captain Marvel. But if that happens, that seems less than we've already had this, been there, done that. I don't need that. But because of all this, I do like the art enough. But because of just this forced nature of this, changing some things to just get to the end, finally getting to some character progression, even if it does lead to awfulness, it's fine. You still got, but you waited too long. The whole thing just ended up being a 5-issue miniseries of Carol and Ripley fighting back and forth, bitching and moaning at each other. So overall, I was very disappointed with this end for something I was looking forward to. I give it a 5 out of 10. And that's that. I hope that you enjoyed this review here. And if you did, please like and subscribe to our channel. Also, look in all of the other links below to everything Weird Science, including Marvel Podcast and Site, DC Podcast and Site. We also have a Patreon where you can go and support us and get a bunch of other shows that I end up doing. I just started a Milestone/Wildstorm podcast and ended up reviewing Icon #1 from the Milestone deal. And that's on the Patreon, just to give you a little idea of some of the things that we do. But thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching this, and I'll talk to you later.